Hello, my name is John Sims with the Avaya Serviceability Engineering team. This video is about Avaya B5800 Branch Gateway Centralized License Management. WebLM-controlled centralized license management came into being with the B5800 Branch Gateway for 6.2. Centralized license management gives you the option to manage multiple B5800 branches through a shared license pool. Also, you can still maintain support for the individual PLDS license files that were delivered individually to isolated branches. And you can also use this as a migration from these individual PLDS license files to the WebLM-based license management if that suits your design needs. WebLM centralized licensing is the recommended model in the B5800 starting with release 6.2. Single shared license file on the WebLM server and allocation between branches is determined by the configuration of the B5800s. Again, it's a first in, first out type of license pool. Licenses are freed up based on usage and if the B5800 branches are in fact available on the network. Each B5800 connects to the WebLM server and requests license entitlements based on its configuration. The WebLM server can manage up to 400 B5800 branches. If you're involved in a large deployment, keep that in mind that you may exceed the specifications of a single system manager based WebLM capacity, so you may need to add standalone WebLM servers into the configuration mix. Then they will be set up as master and local in the WebLM enterprise licensing model. So as you see, I'm on the landing page of System Manager 6.2 and I'm going to head to the licensing subpages. So I'll click on licenses on that main menu and then you'll see there's no product license files installed on this System Manager based WebLM server. So first I'm going to head to server properties just to point out this is where you'll harvest up your primary host ID for your license file creation. I've already created a license file for this demonstration, so I'll head to install license and then I'll browse to a specific path where I have my license file saved. So I'll select the license file and just another peek at that license file. I'll hit browse again. It's a big, long, ugly looking license file, so that is very typical of what you'll receive as created and then stored on PLDS. So then I'll click the install button on the install license pages, and license file installed successfully is what you of course want to see. We now have Branch Gateway, Avaya Branch Gateway licensing. I'll click on Avaya Branch Gateway. You'll see for the host ID we have these capacities installed and currently available. None are currently consumed. Now again, just a quick thought around license consumption with the B5800. When the B5800 comes online, it'll then contact the WebLM server and ask for licensing based on the configuration needs of that particular B5800 branch gateway. So what you have in fact here is a first in, first out pool. Licensing is returned to the pool when the B5800 gateway is offline for a particular amount of time or when the configuration needs change. So I've launched the B5800 system monitor and I'm going into trace options. So under the services tab, we just want to make sure that the HTTP event options are selected. So we are going to log all HTTP traffic in and out of the B5800. The reason for this is all the contact made with WebLM is through web services using HTTP. So as a B5800 comes online, you're going to see quite a bit of logging as it contacts the WebLM server. And I'll show you examples of this. We'll freeze the logging here. You'll see at the top of the page I hit the pause key and then I'll scroll up and we'll take a peek at some of the logging examples. Here's a good example in the trace. We're acquiring 4 licenses for embedded voicemail and we've requested 20 licenses for SIP trunk sessions. If we scroll down in the trace, we'll find other examples. So I'm scrolling down in the trace and you see here that we're acquiring 15 additional T1 channel licenses. And if I continue to scroll, you'll see that we have loaded the licensing for both embedded voicemail, the SIP trunk sessions, and the T1 channels we were acquiring earlier, and they have that long expiration date. So we've renewed all of our license features now on the B5800 branch gateway. So I'm going to take you now to the B5800 manager and pull in a configuration off this branch gateway. So you'll see that it's pulling it in and validating the configuration into manager. And when it presents itself in tree format, we're going to head down to the lower left corner, as you see, to the PLDS license part of the configuration tree. You see that we're in normal mode and license mode, version 6, and you see that we have acquired all of these licenses. You'll always acquire one instance of the Avaya Branch Gateway system software, and everything else is variable based on configuration. So we've acquired 4 embedded messaging ports and 20 SIP sessions and 15 additional T1 channels. You'll see there we're pointing to the system manager server, and leave the URN as is, and then you see that WebLM on system manager transacts over a special port 52233. So if I head now to the security side of the configuration, it's time to now pull a security configuration from the same B5800. I want to make a special point about the SIP CA certificate. So I'll pull up a default security, and it'll warn us that it is still set at default. I'll go to System Certificates tab. Now you see here in the Trusted Certificates store, starting with the first maintenance release of the 6.2 B5800 branch gateway, Avaya is now including the SIP Product Certificate Authority. That SIP Product Certificate Authority has a special purpose when it comes to transacting with WebLM. It is required in the trust domain for WebLM on System Manager. So that's another reason why this is loaded, not only for TLS, but also for WebLM functionality on the B5800. So now let's head back into licenses, and we'll expand the Avaya Branch Gateway section, and we'll look at allocations, where you can modify your allocations, but I'll view by feature. You see some licenses are now consumed. And if I go to the usage by WebLM, you'll see not only the license count of consumption, but also the percentage consumption decrease of the total pool. That we see that we have what's allocated, then how many ports or features are then consumed, and that percentage of consumption. Then I'll head to the enterprise usage. That'll show you an overall picture on this local system manager WebLM. Again, giving you a license capacity and the availability of licensing. And if I view by feature, again, that's something you'll probably use more often, is you'll see just by license feature what is being consumed currently and what's currently available. Thank you for your time today. We welcome comments, questions, and feedback at mentor@avaya.com or on Twitter @AvayaMentor. For more details or related information, please visit support.avaya.com. Thank you for choosing Avaya.